Hey guys, okay, so today I have got the Makeup Revolution London Magic Eye Bright Corrector, and I got it in the shade medium to deep. It's an under eye brightening corrector. Sometimes if I use a color corrector for my skin tone shade, such as light, which I am clearly very light, it still doesn't have quite the effect that I need and will still make my under eyes look gray because it'll still be too light. So that's why this time I got the medium to deep. We'll see. And again, sometimes the medium to deep is too dark. So we'll just see what happens. For a corrector, sorry, I'm opening up this box right now. I don't know the price. I want to say it was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $12. I don't know why they make these boxes like so difficult to unpack, but here we are. There are other concealer, whoops. This one is very similar as far as the shape. This one is the Conceal and Fix Ultimate Coverage Concealer with Salicylic, okay. And it is just a potted concealer, regular shade. It's the same packaging, and here comes the corrector, so let's take a look. All right, so there is, in fact, a seal. I don't know if you can see that. Ooh, it's a little bit puffy. There we are. That looks like it's going to be a good shade for color correcting. And I think I will probably like use the corrector and then also use a regular concealer on top so we can kind of see how that's going to work out. All right, so I'll probably just use my fingers because that's how I would use a concealer like this. So I'm just going to take a little bit right out of the pot. It feels very thin and very, I don't know if you can kind of see, like it feels very almost like oily. Well, now, of course, it feels kind of greasy, yeah. I feel like if I was gonna try this for like a no makeup look, this might be okay, but like it's quite deeper. We'll get some swatches in just a second. It's quite a bit deeper than, it's not making much of a difference, honestly, than my, you can see, like, than my actual skin tone. There we go. I feel like we're making a little bit of progress with that amount. Very greasy feeling. Like this is not at all the same as far as like how the product feels as the other concealer. It's very sticky, tacky, greasy feeling. I feel like I've said that several times now, so hopefully you guys will get the idea that this is a little bit different than this. Like this one is very, like you can see, like I use my brush to remove the product. This is a lot creamier and much creamier. This one is much more oily, greasy feeling. You can see even like it's almost got like a gel type consistency to it. Very weird. Like I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting, you can see like how shiny it is. And you can see like this is not shiny. Like it looks like it's a cream, like, you know, it's as shiny as a cream would be. All right, so I feel like, you know, if I was going to do this for like a no makeup kind of day, like you can see there's a little bit of something going on, but how much of it is just light reflecting off of this remarkably dewy, like wet looking product. Like if I put just like Vaseline underneath my eye, it might do the same thing simply because the light is shining off of it and all you're seeing is bright reflected light than it actually doing any type of concealing. So let's just give it a see, and you can kind of see when I shade it like that, it's providing some coverage, but just not a lot. I was expecting for a little bit more coverage. I was expecting a completely different product in all honesty. But I think what I'll do is just for this eye, I will what shall we do? I will also put a regular concealer on. It's difficult for me because all of my concealers are color correcting concealers. I choose a shade that will serve to conceal and color correct at the same time, so none of them are like the shade of my face. They all have a little bit of a color correcting tone to them. So let me see if I've got anything that might work. Anything that might work, let's just see. Oh, maybe this one. This is the Sleek Life Proof. This is probably the closest, one of the closest. I've got a bunch of concealers here, and any one of them could potentially work, but they're all pretty much a similar shade, except for this one's a little bit more, or a little bit closer to my actual skin tone. So I'm just gonna put it on, we're gonna blend it, and we're gonna see what happens. All right. The corrector itself, I would not be able to use that just on its own, even on a no makeup day. Some concealers I can do that, like I can just use the corrector with no other makeup, and I'm good to go, like concealed, looking natural, not looking weird. Oh, so that looks really good. Now what I'm gonna do, I think, just to find out, because like this is the problem, like who knows what product is making this look so good. Like no makeup day, perfect. Like it looks like I could just go and be done. No other makeup. I mean, as far as like foundation type, no other complexion makeup, and I feel like this is a good, we got good coverage, we got good tone, the color correcting shade is not showing, you know, so that looks nice. So I think what I'll do is just to see what the difference would be if I just use this concealer without that color corrector underneath, what would happen. Now before I do that though, let me just take a look at if the concealer had any weird reaction with the corrector that's underneath. Nope, looks good. Looks pretty good. Now I will say that like I still have a little bit of that color corrector showing right around here, and even the dewiness is still sort of there. So if you got a little bit closer to me than I am to my mirror, you might be able to tell that I'm wearing a weird shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye, and we will see. We'll just see how well that works out. Whoa. Already is like something that I can tell just already right off the bat is that it's not blending as well without that, excuse me, without that corrector underneath. So but I can't see too much difference, honestly. This one's a little bit shinier still. That shine is coming through. This one doesn't seem as shiny. I don't see much difference, honestly. So a product like this, now it's like making me second guess myself, thinking I should have got the lighter one to see if that would have been like an all-in-one concealer. It's just hard to know because of when you're color correcting, you have to have it be just that right shade. Otherwise you'll still get a lot of grayness, you'll get a lot of, and that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for it to fool the eye into looking like it's all one shade. Sometimes you can just do that with a regular concealer, but I think as far as like my thoughts on this product, it's a matter of getting the right shade. It's not giving a lot of coverage. And I understand like it's not necessarily marketed for coverage. But I'm not seeing much. I don't feel like this did very much. So to me, this is not really a product that would be worth it for me to have in my collection. It's just easier for me because I need so much coverage to find a concealer that has, and let me give you some swatches so you can kind of get an idea. And I'm gonna do a video on this because I've had people ask and people wonder and make statements about me color correcting my under eyes. And I just want to explain kind of my experience with color correcting. So the first one is the color corrector, the Revolution color corrector, Eye Bright color corrector. The second one is the sleek concealer that we put on top of it. And I'll give you a sort of a shade of a concealer that I would use to take the place of both of those things, which honestly, they're not that much different. And I'll give you one more just to sort of, for comparison. Okay, so here is the color corrector. This is the concealer that we used. This is a concealer, this is a Sleek Life Proof. The next one up is the Kylie Skin Concealer that I would use it in replace of both of these. So I would just use one product to do the job of both of these. This is the Morphe Fluidity Concealer. And because it's got that, it's a little bit brighter than this Kylie one, it makes my under eyes look brighter, which gives the illusion of more coverage. So that's something to think about. And I'll talk about that in a separate video. But I think as for today, for this product, for me, it's not worth it. If you just have a little bit of pigmentation and you don't have as much darkness and pigmentation as I have, you just have a little bit, this might work out for you. A product such as this might work out for you. But at the same time, I feel like you don't have to buy a separate product if you're trying to color correct. You can just get your favorite concealer in the shade that is the color correcting shade, i.e. peachy, a pinky shade, a green shade, something like that, and use that as a 2-in-1. Now obviously, like, a green is not going to be a 2-in-1 because you're gonna have to cover that green, but for anything that's sort of like complexion and in the same sort of color family as in a skin tone, I feel like just getting the concealer in the shade that you need would be a little bit more cost effective, and just to pare down your all the steps that you have to take in order to get your full face together. So thank you guys so much for watching. I don't think the product is a bad product necessarily. It is a little bit more dewy than I was expecting and all that, but I feel like it's, for the way it worked out, it's kind of unnecessary for me, unless I'm looking to really do up, because it's still way dewy. If I'm looking to really do up something that's more matte, such as this concealer, it might be workable. This LA Colors Ultimate Cover Concealer, which is a good concealer, but it is very matte and does dry down, so that's something to think about. But just as a color corrector or as a standalone product, I don't think this is necessary in your routine, even if you need color correcting. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, ding my bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.